All right, folks, welcome back to Sub 2 Investor. My name is Hans, and in this episode, I'm going to show you how to become a millionaire by closing sucky real estate deals. Seriously, stay tuned to find out how. Now, this is part of my Real Sub 2 Deal Breakdown series. This is Deal 4, Part 1. And in this video series, I'm walking you through A to Z actual Sub 2 deals I've closed and which I hold to this day so that you can learn from my experience and hopefully glean some wisdom. I think we got about 34 properties. Most of those were acquired with Creative Finance. All right. Well, this deal is number 4, the 4th Sub 2 deal we closed, and it was a surprise that it was even a Sub 2 deal because we were in wholesaling mode at this stage in our journey of being full-time real estate investors. We were wholesaling pretty much full-time. We were hitting the phones, going on the appointments, closing the deals ourselves. And this was one particular deal that was in a nice area, and we were almost certain we were going to be able to wholesale it quickly. In fact, we found a buyer relatively quickly on this one. Then shit hit the fan, and it's going to make for a great story. But first, let me talk about where this deal came from. So this particular deal came from an absentee owner list, and it was also an expired MLS listing. So it might have actually been on 2 of our lists to which we were marketing. In terms of marketing channel, this particular seller we reached out to via text message, and I'll actually show you what this conversation looked like so that you can know if you are doing text message marketing direct to sellers, you can see for yourself the conversation that might ensue, which could turn into an amazing deal. All right, and it's not what you might think. So check it out. Hi, this is my name. I am reaching out about a property I believe you own on such and such street. We are home buyers in the area and are looking to acquire a few more houses. Any chance you may be looking to sell or would consider an offer? Thanks. No response. A week later. Hello, this is my name from my company. I texted you last week about your property at your address. I wanted to follow up to see if you may be interested in an offer for that property. We are looking to acquire more homes in your area. If not, please also let me know and I will quit bugging you. Thanks. No response. So about 10 days later. Hello again, this is me from my company reaching out about your house at 123 Main Street. Just in case I missed you last time, any chance you are looking to sell that home? We are actively looking to purchase in the area and would love to make you an offer on your home. Thanks and have a nice day. No response. So hello again. It's me from my company. I just wanted to reach out again to see if you may be interested in selling your home at such and such a street. No worries. If not, please just let me know and I'll quit reaching out. Thanks. About 2 weeks later. Hello, it's me. I'm just reaching out one last time to see if you are interested in selling your home at 123 Main Street. Please let me know. Thank you. Finally, the seller responds, make me an offer. Not the most, warm response or inviting response, but it's just enough to get a conversation started. So then we respond, thanks for your response. I just tried to call as I prefer talking over the phone. Could you call me when you get a chance? Yes, I'm golfing now. Call you later. That right there is a text messaging campaign that was successful and landed us a deal that is highly profitable. All right, so we got this deal under contract. It was a cash offer. Now let me show you how we marketed this property. The property itself did not need a ton of work to be move-in ready. There were tenants living there. They kept it in decent shape, but there was a lot of deferred maintenance and it was cosmetically outdated. So I'll show you what our thought was in terms of how we were going to dispose of this property. Hopefully these videos are of value to you, and if it is, please hit the like button below, subscribe, leave a comment, and just let me know what you think about these videos, how I can make them better for you. If there's any burning questions you have, chances are if you ask a question, I might have thought about it and I might have some input for you. So please leave a comment below and let me know what you think about this YouTube channel. All right, but here is our marketing ad copy for the property. Fantastic St. Charles flip or rental. It was a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, roughly 1,800 square feet. The ARV around 315. And our asking price was just about $220. So we got it under contract with a cash buyer. We were really excited about this deal, so we were asking $220. We thought that the seller owed, I think it was like $210. We had it under contract, I think, for just over $210. We weren't going to make a big wholesale fee on it. Maybe if we had it at around, let's say $212, we were only going to make $8,000 on a wholesale fee on this one. But we thought that the seller's payoff on his mortgage was, I think, around $210, is if I remember correctly. But what ended up happening, everybody got ready to close. Our cash buyer was ready to go. Title was ready to go. What ended up happening was we got an email from our closer at the title company, and I'll show you what it said. It was not great news. All right, here's the email we got from our contact at the title company. 4:45 p.m. We expect to hear a good report that all the closings went well and that we would be getting a check sent to us. But she says, "We have a problem. I just called the seller to inquire about his funds, and he told me he's not paying a effing thing." His words. Attached is the payoff statement that is way more than your sales price. Let me know what to do. So, to be honest, we should have done our due diligence and gotten the payoff on his mortgage, well in advance before the day of closing. But, as things happen, people were busy. This was during the height of COVID. Tons of people are closing and refinancing. The seller's payoff for his loan didn't come back until the day of closing, when our closer at the title company spoke with the seller and said, "Hey, did you know that your payoff was more than the sales price for which it was under contract?" He said, "I'm not paying an effing thing." So basically, he ended up owing $230, and he was actually behind on payments. He did not tell us this. There were late fees, lawyer fees, escrow shortages, and all this good stuff. So we ended up owing $230. We had it under contract for $212. That was 18 grand more than the sales price. So our cash buyer was disappointed that he wasn't going to buy that property. This became a dead deal. This was one of those, I guess, nightmare scenarios that you hear about of a deal falling apart at the closing table, but it happened. My initial thought was, we got to get this thing under contract subject to. And it just seemed like the perfect setup. This seller had moved out of state already. They had tenants in the house. He was pocketing the rent money and not paying his lenders. And he knew that he would be facing foreclosure. So we got with him and we pitched him a subject to offer. I think on that day, we got on the phone with him and we said, "Hey, look, we didn't realize that you owed so much to the lender. We still might be able to buy this house if we are able to catch up the payments or do a loan modification, and we could just take over your payments and you could go live out of state in retirement wherever you are and not worry about this house anymore." And this was a acceptable prospect for him. Enough so that we got an amendment in place. I think we signed it later that evening. Then began the process of closing this particular deal. Out of all the deals we've closed, this one took nearly a year to close, and it was partly due to the lender on this particular loan. That in and of itself is a story to tell. But yeah, he agreed to apply for a loan modification, and this was during the days of COVID when it was super easy to get COVID relief and mortgage assistance. Theoretically easy. And this seller's wife had passed away. His wife was actually still on the deed and on the loan, and so trying to do a loan modification was a very difficult thing to do. The paperwork was a nightmare. It took months and months and months. It was so slow, but eventually it worked out. But it was well worth it. You're about to see why. All right, so here is the loan modification letter that we finally got after months of pulling our hair out. Dear seller, we're pleased to confirm that you're approved for a loan modification. We've enclosed an agreement that includes the terms of the loan modification. It's important to note that we're not refinancing the original mortgage. The letter will help you understand the next steps to accept this modification. Here's what you'll need to do by January 20th, 2022. So then he had to go get these documents notarized, and that in and of itself was an entire ordeal because the notary didn't stamp it in the right place, and then when he went to go fax it, some of the pages didn't get faxed, and so he had to go get them notarized again. It was just not a fun, happy time. Here were the terms which made this such a great deal. Basically, all of the arrears, which I think were roughly $20,000 or so, got lumped into an entirely new loan. You can see that the new principal balance of the loan was just about $230,000. Yada, yada, yada. Basically, our new monthly payment came out to be just south of $1,500. And the most beautiful thing of it all was the interest rate, 3.00000%. 3% interest loan. Let me show you, this was a crappy deal, right? A wholesaler couldn't wholesale it. A cash buyer couldn't buy it. This is what's called a bad deal. The neighbors found out what he ended up selling it for to us, which was this loan balance. They'd have said they paid way too much. However, what they would not have known was that we took the payment subject to, and now as investors, we have this 30-year fixed 3% interest rate on this awesome asset, which will continue to appreciate as years go on. Let me show you the profit breakdown real quick so that you can see, if you just stack these deals that very few investors are targeting, then you will see the amazing profit potential. Here is a spreadsheet of our buy and hold properties. I list the address, the buy date, the price, the balance of the sub-2 loan, any additional liens, the interest rate we have, the PITI payment, any expenses we put to the property, and then what we do with it, if it's a lease, an option, or a contract for deed, the price that we set, the balance, their payment, their interest rate, whether or not there's a prepayment penalty, balloon, and their down payment. And then in these green columns, we have the profit analysis, right? These are the fun columns, right? So you can see on the front end, we ended up making $26,000. Our cash flow is $619 a month. That's our cash flow. Our back end spread, that is if our tenant buyer were to refinance or sell, would be $33,000. And after 10 years, total profit, now this factors in, our expenses into the property and then all of the income we make from the property. We put it at the 10-year mark because that would be the more or less average time that somebody who's buying a property on seller financing will hold that property for. So we put 10 years out. The total projected revenue is $133,000. So how many of those deals, guys, how many of these sucky real estate deals do you need to stack up to become financially free? How many 619 cash flow a month deals do you need before you can quit your 9-to-5 and start pursuing real estate full time? And that, my friends, is how you become a millionaire closing sucky real estate deals. So what was interesting to you about this deal? Was there anything that I missed or forgot to mention or omitted? Tell me what you think. Please do me a huge favor and like this video and subscribe. I'm trying to provide as much free and valuable content as I can to you, the beginning investor. It would just mean a lot to me. Please leave a comment and let me know. It helps the algorithm. You guys are the best, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.